I finally got him!
Welcome again to my Bachmann story. You guys have been begging me to make a part 3.
Just do it!
I would have done it sooner, but I was overseas on holiday for a month, so I literally couldn't work on my layout. But I'm back, and I've got some stuff to show you. I recommend you watch my previous 2 videos first, but for a quick recap, Theorist got me into model trains, and for a few months now, I've been making a small layout and collection. Over the course of this journey, I've sliced my finger open, made a few customs, and almost destroyed my most expensive engine. I'm so sorry, Henry. In this video, I have 5 brand new Thomas engines to show you, some more customs, and plans on decorating the layout. Before we get into the video though, I just want to address some stuff from the last one. I want to make it very clear that I took up this hobby for myself. Yes, I'm documenting the history of the layout on YouTube, but I'm not doing any of this for the internet. I'm doing it purely for myself and for fun. Only reason I bring this up is because I've been getting a lot of people trying to tell me what to do. And I don't mean like suggestions, just flat out saying, "No, you have to do it like this or you're an idiot." Guys, hate to break it to you, but I'm gonna do this hobby my way because it's my own personal thing. If you want to kindly suggest an idea, that's perfectly fine, but don't forcefully tell me what to do. Last video, I designed my layout and started laying down the track. I'd almost finished, but I was still waiting for some pieces to arrive. Well, I got those pieces and was able to add the last few bits to the track layout, so it was finally complete. Hooray! I had the power track for the inner loop over here, which meant the power cord was kinda just running along the board. Looks stupid. So I just drilled a hole and had the cable run under the table. I plan to cover this up with either a station platform or something. It's much better than having the cable on top though. Last time, I mentioned how I bought a Terrier for my custom Stepney. So let's get into the story of how I made it. I decided to base my Stepney mostly on the prop from the TV series, but with a few changes to things I didn't really like about it, which I'll talk about when I get to them. I basically wanted to base my Stepney on how I think they would have maybe designed him in the CGI series. Not like this. In CGI, they started making the engines look less toy-like and closer to their actual bases. So I took some inspiration from the real Stepney when designing mine. Luckily, when it came to the coat of yellow, I didn't need to mix multiple colors to get the one I needed. Dark flashbacks. As I've said before, I don't spray paint my models. I find it harder to do and I have more fun and satisfaction with painting them by hand. This also means I don't give them a sprayed primer, which has been fine for the most part, but for Stepney, it was a bit harder. It took quite a few coats on his tanks to get it to look right. Time to move on to the footplate. I had to glue the back part of the buffer beam because it broke in the post. Once that was done, I painted the footplate with my red paint pen. I then went over it with a darker red paint, similar to how I did it on Smoky Joe Percy. The red paint pen works splendidly as an undercoat for it. When it comes to Stepney's running board on the prop, it's just the same yellow as him. I'm not a fan of this. It blends too much with his body and it's just too much yellow. This isn't season 11 Stepney, stop trying to be different. I decided to instead paint a black running board for him. I chose black because I was partly inspired by the black running boards that CGI Duck and Oliver have, opposed to the model series white ones. It was also more accurate to Stepney's real life basis. I think the black makes it look so much better, and I wish the prop did that too. I touched up the other black areas like his smoke box, funnel, and west housing pump. Time for lining. I've always thought the combination of red and green was such a unique design for the lining. Using paint pens, I started by lining out the green first. Now I know this is the wrong shade of green, however I don't have a better color and to be honest, I don't really care. I then added all the red lining. I also decided instead of gold boiler stripes to give him red ones. Again, it's just too much yellow for me. I also gave him red lining on the top of the tank instead of white. It just felt more consistent, if that makes sense. Weirdly enough, the Take and Play toy has red lining on the top, so... I then painted the buffers and cab roof white, and also painted some more of the details like the handrails and caps black, which is more accurate to the real life engine. The next big thing to do was painting the wheels. I have never painted the wheels on a HO scale model before, and I was worried about potentially messing them up. To paint them, I'd need to paint one half, then rotate the wheels to paint the other half. However, there was no way I was going to be able to get like 5 coats of paint on these wheels without it looking like crap. So I had to do an undercoat of some kind. I decided to paint them white first as a base undercoat, and then yellow on top. The color came out a little lighter than Stepney's body because of the white underneath. There was also some patchy bits, so I darkened the paint slightly and did another coat. Now that's better. For the side rods, I just used a red Sharpie. I'm gonna definitely clean this up later. I then added some extra details like his lamp irons, which were just some spare plastic bits. I glued his brake pipe back on, did the tail lamp, fixed the back windows, and gave him his name. The last thing to do was the face.
Hello.
For Duck, I just stole the wooden railway face, but I don't own a wooden railway Stepney. Now, I could just buy one, right? Like, no shot. I'm not paying $50 just for that ugly ass face. So, I instead decided to just use a different wooden railway's face for the moment.
Smudger.
No.
I thought Duncan's face could work. The nose is quite similar to Stepney, his eyeballs are quite small, and if I just redrew the eyebrows, it'd be perfect. So I cut his face off, and it was too small. Sorry about that, Duncan. I decided the next best option that I owned would have to be Peter Sam. It isn't a perfect match, but with some paint it could maybe work? I cut Peter Sam's face off and it seemed like a perfect size. I redrew the eyes, eyebrows, and mouth with paint pens. I put it on the model and I was kinda shocked at how perfectly sized it was. It's literally the exact measurements. What is this sorcery? And that's my Stepney. I think it's loads better than Duck, but it could be so much better still. To be honest, I was kind of just rushing it to get it done for this video, and yeah, I should have spent more time on it. The lining's a bit sloppy, the paint could be better, so I definitely am gonna redo this at some point. This definitely became more apparent to me when editing, because I saw it on the bigger screen and was like, oh damn, that doesn't look very good. So yeah, I will fix this. It is quite hard for me to get precise lining since these models are quite small and my hands are quite big. Oh god, imagine trying to do N scale, Jesus Christ. Well, that was a bit of a long segment. Let's move on to something a little smaller. Mail trucks. You guys may already know that I quite like Percy's mail trucks. I mean, I made a whole video about them. And one day while scrolling through Amazon, they got marked down in price. So I was quite happy to get new rolling stock. And these vans are just, I love how they look, especially behind Smokey Joe, Percy, and Thomas. Time for another big segment. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Deleting my channel! It's the 5 new engines I ordered. As I mentioned in the last video, there was a Black Friday sale on Amazon. You know, when they put Duck on sale, like, right after I finished my custom on him. Wasn't that great? Wasn't that just awesome? Wasn't that just awesome, Amazon? Wasn't that great? So throughout the few weeks of the sale, I was waiting to see which engines went cheaper and bought the ones I wanted. And I very luckily got 2 of the ones I desperately wanted. Not just wanted, needed. I needed these things. So let's see who I got. I'll go in order of who I bought. And I also recorded live footage of me unboxing them with Thomas Theorist. The first engine I got was Diesel.
Diesel.
I mentioned last time how I really wanted Diesel, but he was so expensive. Luckily, he dropped down to only 130 Australian dollars.
Get me out of the package.
I'm getting you out. It's snapping.
Why? It's not in focus. The camera. There you go.
I mean, I don't mind him not having the correct color rods. It looks...
I actually prefer them, honestly. They look cooler.
Oh, there he goes.
Is that it?
Oh, look, it's unfinished Stepney in the background. Woo, Diesel, woo. Sorry, Diesel. How you doing?
Unbearable.
Look, it's Sandy, though. It's Sandy.
I hate Sandy and I don't like it go.
Hey, Diesel, what do you think of your favorite? Hello, Diesel. It's nice to see you again. Now gently get the coaches. Oh, Diesel!
What about Bruno, Diesel? Don't you like Bruno?
I don't like Bruno. He's from All Engines Go, and I hate the camera's not in focus. Focus! Focus! I hate All Engines Go. Cause it's not the Railway series, and the Railway series is perfect totally all the time! I'm not coping, you are!
He's staring at the
I don't need these mail trucks that skip. I fell over! This is not fair, this railway sucks! I wish I was on Unlucky Tug's layout. I'm gonna push Sandy, cause I hate all engines go. Look at that!
Can I like make him do the thing he does in season 8? Yeah, this thing.
Haha, he chuckled.
I'm so happy that I finally got him now. I love the Bachmann diesel model. His proportions are perfect, his details amazing, and I actually quite like the silver rods on him, despite having black ones for most of the series. I specifically got the grumpy face variant, because it adds so much character to this model. Diesel is honestly such a—
Shut up! You're so annoying!
Diesel is certainly an S-tier model.
You know, maybe this railway isn't so bad. Oh! I hate this railway!
The next engine I bought was Paxton.
Paxton!
The day after I bought Diesel, I noticed that Paxton was brought down in price too. I always forgot Bachmann Paxton even existed, but he was only $135, so I couldn't help myself.
His face is so big and bulgy, it's perfect. I don't like the black, but I know that's how it is on the actual model.
Paxton!
I think it's cool because it's like a CGI character in model form. Oh, that's cool. Diesel's helping him out.
Since Paxton reuses Diesel's mold, his proportions and detail are also fantastic. I love the orange side rods and his goofy face. He looks so cool next to Diesel. Don't have much else to say about him, but he's very cool. The next two engines I ordered at the same time, the first one of them being Percy. Being Percy. Funny, get it? It's like the episode title. Get it? It's fun. I'm here all week, folks. I never cared for the Bachmann Percy, really. It's probably like the worst looking Thomas engine they made. However, when it was on sale for only $90, I just had to buy him. Especially since I had just gotten my mail trucks. Plus, it would be nice to have an actual Percy and not just a Smokey Joe one.
Percy!
There's Percy. God, the lighting here sucks. No, so he's not really peak. He's not really peak. I got Percy just because because he was cheap and the mail truck. So I need to get the mail trucks actually. Why is he so light? He does look better in person, but I hate the freaking step ladders. Ugly ass face though. Don't like that face. Oh yeah. He's really smooth. He's actually a really good runner. You good, Percy? You good. You're going the wrong way. You're going down this. Percy, get it. Oh wait, Percy doesn't have a front coupling. Percy, no! We got Percy here. And we'll get Joe. I never used this as Percy. I always used this as Joe. This is always I never really called this thing Percy. I always call it Joe. It's my Smokey Joe Percy. It's not my Percy, it's my Smokey Joe Percy.
He's a day out with Joe.
Yeah.
After actually getting the Percy model, I don't hate it as much as I did before. Yeah, there are still some annoying details like the stepladder being on the outside and that atrocious face. Ugh. But overall, he's a cute little model, and I'm happy to have him. Also, for some reason, he's like super light. Like, no, seriously, he's only 73 grams. His mail truck is almost the same weight. The take-alone Percy weighs more.
What?
If there was a small gust of wind, Percy's gonna be flying.
Stop!
The next engine I got was James. Okay, please now let me talk about James because oh my god, I love him so much! Ah! James is my favorite Thomas character, ever since I was a kid. His design is just so simple but elegant. His red paintwork is genuinely splendid. You can see why he always boasts about it. I have wanted Bachmann gens forever, but he always costs so much. Like, no dog, I am not paying $180 for him. Sorry, James, I love you, but I can't do that, it's just too much. So when James dropped down to 125, yes! I instantly threw him in the cart and bought him.
3, 2, 1.
It'll be fine.
Oh, it's fine. I've wanted you for so long. You were like one of the first ones I ever wanted. James's one was much easier to open. Screw you, Percy. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Oh no. Not again. So, thanks, James. Are you serious? Well, I already wrote in the script for the second one that I know I'm gonna injure myself somehow in the third one, and I was right.
I can't wait to see how I injure myself in the next video.
Yeah. Oh, he's smooth, he's nice. Yeah, there he goes. Yeah. James is just wheel slipping. Because Toby's too slow.
I'm so happy they fixed the James model to have the correctly painted smoke box and black wheels. He looks so much better. If you weren't aware, the original Bachmann James looked like this, and now it looks like this. Such a glow up. Out of the original three, I think James is the best looking.
Look at me.
The shade of red is lovely, and the proportions are brilliant. While the face could be better, I don't really dislike it, to be honest. Thomas and Percy I definitely hate, like, ugh. But James gets a pass from me. The other thing I'm not the fondest of is the weird thing going on at his cab. Like, why is it half black, half red? But you know what? I don't even care. I'm too focused on how good he looks. James is definitely one of my favorite engines I've gotten. He runs very well and he's pretty fast too. He's up there with Henry for best engine I own. Maybe even better than Henry. Okay, no, Henry was a joke. I'm kidding. You're the best. You're the best model I have, Henry. It was a joke. We cool, okay? Although I do like red better than green. Henry, no! The last engine I bought was one I kept contemplating on whether I should buy it or not. And that was Duck.
Duck!
The reason I wasn't sure was because I had already made my own duck, and I didn't really want it to go to waste. However, that duck I had didn't run amazingly, smelt a bit bad, and was also not the best custom ever. I figured I would just have more fun if I bought Duck now while it was cheap for $130. I should also mention that Duck would go for like ridiculous prices, so I didn't want to miss out. So I bought him.
Yeah. You have to like get above the... There's like 2 layers of plastic in there. I'm just not even gonna open it on camera because I don't care. Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he hit the camera.
Yep.
Oh, he derailed there. Okay, Duck, couple up to the things. There you go. I mean, yeah, mine's gonna look way worse compared to... I never cared if mine was like fully accurate to Duck, I just wanted a duck. Hello, Diesel.
Ah, why are you here, Duck?
Hello, Diesel.
What? No! No! Why is that too? No!
I am pretty happy that I decided to buy Duck. The detail is very nice and that face is just, perfect. Now you might be wondering, what will I do with my custom Duck now? That's a good question. No, but seriously, I'm not sure what to do with him. Since I'm thinking about making a Ginty Thomas like Smokey Joe Percy, maybe I could make Duck in a similar style? I'll probably do something with him in part 4, we'll see. Well, those were the 5 new engines. Okay, you know what? That joke's getting old now. I'm very happy with these purchases, and I've got a lot of the characters I really wanted. And I'm glad I've got them because look at the prices now. Jesus Christ, what is that? Duck's not even there anymore. There are still a few more engines I'd like, but I'm probably never ever getting. The first one is Gordon. If I get Gordon, I'll have engines 1 to 8. Unfortunately, Gordon is always ridiculously overpriced. No, seriously, what the frick is that? Bruh. What is it with me and never being able to get to bloody Gordon? Donkey! Another engine I'd really like is Emily. She's such a beautiful looking model and would give me the full Steam team. That is, if I could get Gordon. Emily actually suffers the same problem as him. Stupidity. Why does it cost so much? Rebecca looks very, very cool, and I want her so bad, but just... Salty's also alright. He might be a nice engine to have, considering I'm gonna have a dockside on my layout. Sorry, Percy, I guess you're on fish duty.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
Oh yeah, and then there's that other blue train you might have heard of. What's his name? Thomas? I said in the first video, I'd probably need to replace Thomas because he was starting to have a few running issues. I had the opportunity to replace him when he was only like $98 during the sale, but I didn't do it. I think he still has some soul left in him. He's not ready to retire just yet. At this point, I left the country on holiday for about a month. I couldn't really do anything while I was away, but I figured I could plan out scenery for the layout. About a week before I left, I photoshopped a draft version of what the layout could possibly look like painted up. As you can see, I wanted the grey concrete of the docks to then merge into a grassy terrain all over the board. I drew up ideas of retaining walls on the edge, along with a coal hopper. When I was overseas, I then redesigned this concept into something slightly better, and what I'm most likely gonna stick to. This concept shows more ballast in the station area, and ideas of integrating a hill of some sorts in the middle dead space. Maybe a windmill can go on top there? I'm open to suggestions what I can do in the middle here. I'm really excited to start actually implementing this soon. That's when the layout will start looking so much better. So I was scrolling online trying to find potential buildings and scenery stuff to put on my layout. I then came across this footbridge on sale for $29. It looked great and I really wanted it, but after researching a bit, it looked like it might be a bit too wide. I kept thinking about it though and decided to just get it anyway. It was exactly what I wanted, and if it was too wide, I might be able to cut it down to size.
I shall find ways to cut you down to size.
I got the kit and it was very easy to build. Ignore the fact I broke the leg, that was my bad. Like I predicted though, it was too wide. Well, I cut a chunk out of the middle section and kinda just glued it together. It's not perfect, I knew it wasn't gonna be, but from a distance you can't really tell too much. And I'll be taking videos and stuff from below it most of the time, so it's fine. I might add a banner or something on the front of it though, showing the station name. Which brings us to a fun little thing that you guys can contribute to. I want to name my station, but I'm not entirely sure what to call it, so I'm leaving that up to you. Comment down below station name ideas, and my favorite one will end up being the station name. Now that I had the footbridge, I needed some platforms for them to sit on. In the first video, you might remember this little thing I made to test out my cardboard skills. This was a very rough build, and I wanted the final thing to look better. I definitely didn't want these cardboard edges showing, that was my main concern. I thought about buying some kit or something, but I wasn't the biggest fan of all the ones I saw. And a lot of them came with stations attached to them, which made it more expensive. So I decided the best thing to do was just build them out of cardboard again. But I needed some help with this project. But who could I ask? Mom! I thought it might count as cheating if I got my mother's help, but then I realized that like, looking at tutorials and stuff is getting help from people, so like, why not just ask the person I'm living with, you know? First issue I wanted to figure out was, how are we gonna fix those edges? So my mum suggested using paper to wrap around it and then glue it down. Here's a plan of what we needed to do. The sides needed to be 40 centimeters long and 2 centimeters tall. They also needed slopes on each end, which would go for 5 centimeters each. The top piece was 6 centimeters wide and needed a little over 40 centimeters long, around 45, so we could cut it down to size once it was over the slopes. The sides would be painted brown, while the top would be grey with white strips on the edges. We drew up the measurements and used a Stanley knife to cut the pieces. We needed to glue 2 pieces together for the sides because they were quite flimsy without the extra support. We then glued the paper onto the top piece, and then we gave it a light half cut to make it bend easier. We then glued the sides on, giving about a half a centimeter overhang. We also put some off-cut cardboard pieces in between to keep them more secure. There's one platform built, just repeat the process again, and now we have two.
Nice.
They were looking very good. Time for painting. We put masking tape over the edges when painting the grey. That way the white strips wouldn't need to be painted and were just straight up from the paper. I then painted the brown on the sides and it was done.
Hurrah!
These look fantastic. The paper gives such a nice soft edge to them. This was much easier to do with a second person as well, because we could split up the jobs to speed up the process, and having two people to glue things together made it a million times easier than doing it by myself. And it was also more fun to do it like this. I might add brick details to this later, but right now, I'm content with it. Does anyone remember that crappy American Bachmann set I got? You know, the one with this noisy guy?
Shut up! Stop it!
Well, it came with a caboose, and for a while now, I've thought about turning it into a custom Bruno.
Give me a break. Get it?
I'm not being funny.
I didn't want to make something completely show accurate, just something that kinda resembled him, you know? This would just give a little more purpose to this caboose. First thing I did was remove that logo by simply just scratching it off. I then painted the roof black, and holy buffer plates, that makes it look so much better. I didn't realize how crap the old roof looked before. For some reason, Bruno has buffers, despite being an American design. I mean, I guess I can't complain. So obviously, the caboose didn't have these. Now, I could just ignore the buffers and design it without them, but I wanted to try and see if I could add them. But where would I get them from?
No. Wait.
So yeah, I ripped them off that Teen Goods engine. Before anyone freaks out and starts beating the hell out of me, as I mentioned in the last video, that engine's broken. And no Twitter, I didn't break it, it was broken through the post. Reminder that this is what the bloody thing came in.
What is that?
Using yellow paint pens, I painted the buffer beam and Bruno's edges. Then I glued them on. It's not perfect, but I much prefer them over just nothing there. I gave Bruno the red stripe he has, and his number. Now all I had to do was the face. Ideally, I would use the push-along face, but for some reason, I have never, ever seen a push-along Bruno in Australian shops. The closest I've seen was that like 10-pack or something, but I ain't paying over 50 bucks for frickin' Bruno. So I decided to just look through my wooden railway engines as usual, and I'm just gonna explain my attempt at a face with this old meme.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No. Ah, look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
Yeah, maybe Thumper wasn't the best choice, but also my painting skills could have probably been a bit better. A few weeks later, I saw this motorized Percy and Bruno, and I wondered if the face could maybe work? It might be a little big, but it was worth trying, I guess. Plus, I could probably use that motorized Bruno in a video at some point. So I bought it. The face wasn't hard to take off, but when I put it on the model, yeah, it's definitely too big.
It's just so big!
And that's currently where my Bruno stands. He's completely finished apart from the face, but I'm not too sure what to use. Hey, future me editing here. I wrote the script like a month ago, and since then, Push Along Bruno actually finally came to stores after 3 years. And yeah, so I kinda got one now. I haven't taken the face off, but I plan to use that instead for the face. And that's all I have for you today. By the time I'm writing this script, the layout kinda looks like this.
What?
So I was actually working on building the docks area and painting the board. The main reason I got this video out now was so that you guys can see that in part 4. But by the time this video is going up, I would have finished painting. I might show it off in this video, but I'm not going to go into any details yet. I want to save that all for part 4. Part 4 will also feature some customs. Remember that Ginty Thomas I wanted to make? Well, yeah, I actually already have the Ginty to do it. So expect that in the next video. I also have some new engines coming too.
Oh, yes!
Before I wrap up though, I just wanted to say, part 4 is probably going to come out quicker than this video, considering the fact the board is already painted up. So keep a lookout for that. Don't forget to leave your station names in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.
I've been recording for 51 minutes.